zone, the Francophones as well, they are already rising up. And this is a great opportunity for them to take this experience, to take this illegal candidate called Paul Buea, and then take it to the international community, take it to within themselves, take it to their own parliament. I know they don't have a parliament, I know they don't have a Senate, but they can do whatever they can do in order to make sure they don't have an elections there in La République du Cameroon. All right, that's that for that. My focus for today is just to talk about we, the Ambazonian people, we know what we want out of this revolution. We know why we started this revolution. We know where this revolution is. We know the messages that came out of September 22nd, 2017 and October 1, 2017. We need those messages. So we cannot say we don't know what we want. But for us to get what we want, we must stop doing the wrong things. Ambazonians, listen up. For us to get what we want, we must stop doing the wrong things. We must move ourselves from putting our energy, putting our attention, putting our resources in doing the wrong things. You can't do the wrong things and expect to get the right outcomes. It doesn't happen that way. If you have a wrong recipe, you produce a wrong outcome. Come on, guys. So we're putting so much of our effort and our time in doing the wrong things. Why are we doing that? Why do leaders spend so much time doing the wrong things? Because most leaders in the revolution, their only interest is to get social approval instead of producing results. Pay attention to this, guys. Pay attention to this psychology. The only people, the only reason we keep doing the wrong things, applying the wrong strategies, it is because most leaders are much more interested in getting social approval, social public approval, than producing results. This is the psychology. This is the psychology of most leaders in the revolution today. They rather get social popularity than for them to produce results for their people. They rather have social popularity and social acceptance than for them to deliver results for their people. So most of the actions that leaders are taking, they are not actions that are meant to take us to Buea. They are not actions that are meant to help our people on ground zero. They are not actions that are meant to help feed our refugees in Nigeria. They are not actions that are meant to help to feed our people that are living in bushes. They are only actions that are meant for leaders to gain social approval. And that's why the revolution is failing. And that's why the international community doesn't know we don't know what we want. And that's why we are not getting the support we want from the international community. All right? So we, the Ambazonian people, our government and all groups must stop doing the wrong things just so that they gain social popularity, they gain your acceptance so that you can like them. Leaders don't think like that. A leader is focused on one thing: the vision. Number 2, the purpose. Number 3, strategy of execution. And number 4, effective execution of that strategy, which is effective actions. So when most of our leaders, they spend their time to come up with plans and programs and events to gain social popularity instead of things that would deliver practical results for the revolution, we are doomed to fail. We are doomed to fail. I'm not a pessimist, but when you go from being blind to someone who can see, when you go from being from people that were lost to people that are found, you will quickly wake up to the realization that we have a responsibility. And that's the only interest I have in this revolution. The people that are going to pay the price I know that you guys don't like this conversation. The people that are going to pay the price if this revolution fails, they're on ground zero. The people in Nigeria. What does this mean for the revolution? What kind of things are we doing, and what kind of things are we doing that we must stop doing, and what kind of things are we not doing or we are doing and we must continue to do in order to advance the revolution? This video, it's not about any leader. I just want to educate the public. It's not about any group. I want to educate the public. Once you understand this, then you can go back to your groups, to your governments, and you can have a different conversation. But if you don't understand this, then we keep dabbling and continue to be in the same cycle. When self-defense was launched on ground zero, within a few months, it became the predominant strategy in which even Dr. Sacco came to the conclusion that it's the only way, not the only way, it's the best way to get la Republique's attention, to get international attention, and it's proved to be very effective. The same self-defense that is proved to be very effective to protect our people, that same self-defense, we are not giving that same self-defense the attention it needs. We are not giving that same self-defense the priority it needs. We are not giving that same self-defense the resources it needs. We are not giving that same self-defense, especially our boys on the ground, what they need in order to amplify and intensify their gains. Now, we are focusing on something else. Instead of focusing on how do we, as a people, come together, work together, and harness the resources to give our boys on the ground what they need to be effective, we're wasting our time doing something else, creating new programs, new events. Where does that leave us? And where does that leave the revolution? If we've all have agreed that self-defense is the way to go, how come we are not coming together to look at how do we expand self-defense to make sure every single county or division or subdivision is defended and is protected? How come we're not thinking about that? If you agree that self-defense is the way to go, that ground zero needs more self-defense than anything else. So how come that strategy, it's not a strategy we are prioritizing and we are funding and we're putting more resources into it? How come we're not doing that? Because leaders, even though self-defense is working, they rather spend their time to gain social popularity. We're in a very delicate phase in this revolution right now. There are two events, AAC3 and the public presidential elections. We've made some mistakes in the past. We must avoid those mistakes. What are some of those mistakes? Mistake number one, in the past, we wait until 2 or 3 days before any La Republique election, and then we call for what? A ghost town. How well did that work for us? It didn't work, did it? No. When the Senate election was coming up, instead of for us to put our people in places where they could defend those areas that those elections didn't take place, what did we do? We called for ghost towns, right? Election took place. We're about to repeat the exact same mistakes again. Unless we change our priorities. Unless we change our priorities. Unless we understand that this revolution is our revolution. That this revolution is our revolution. Your future is at stake. Your life is at stake. War is a matter of life or death. If you don't wake up to that reality and you think life is a political game, then I feel sorry. Then I feel sorry for that illusion. If we are not taking it serious, that Buea has a better game plan than all of us here combined in the diaspora combined. An 86-year-old man has a better game plan. And they are carrying out their plan. And we are here, we're seeking for social popularity contest. Leaders are going around trying to score cheap political points to be liked by the people. And the revolution is there. People are being killed every single day. We need to wake up. What are our priorities? What are our priorities? What are the priorities right now? Think about it. We don't have any diplomatic gains. We're not making any diplomatic move. Right as we speak, Buea has a group of diplomats that have been in the United States for the past 2 weeks. They are lobbying intensely to push the Buea agenda forward. And give a narrative in the United States of America. And give the Buea's narrative to the government of the United States. So that they should not put much interest in Southern Cameroon. They have a diplomatic team that has been in the US and lobbying every governmental agency that has a voice, including today or tomorrow. They said they have a conference in the press club, a very powerful club. They will be giving a lecture and giving the world what they think it's the Anglophone problem. And here we are, sitting very comfortably, being disorganized. The only thing we care about, it's social popularity. So that's why I feel sorry for this revolution. We need to get angry. Yes, we need to get angry. We need to get upset. We need to get angry and we need to get upset. We don't have anything going on in the African Union. We don't have anything going on in the European Union. We don't have anything going on in the United Nations. Zero diplomatic efforts. Zero. But the only thing we care about, it's social popularity, right? Ground zero that needs our attention. Our refugees in Nigeria, that needs our attention. The 200,000, the ones in the bushes, that needs our attention. Those things are not our priorities, right? They are not our priorities, right? So why did we launch the revolution in the first place? I'm just curious. Why did we launch the revolution in the first place? Why did we launch the revolution? Why did we launch the revolution? The only people that are going to pay the price and that are paying the price in this revolution are refugees in Nigeria, the people in the bushes, and the people on ground zero. We have misplaced priorities, my people. Instead of leaders to come together, leaders are fighting who's much more important. Instead of leaders to come together, hold hands together, speak with one voice, work together, gather resources together. Hey, who cares? If the revolution fails, hey, fine, I have a position, Most leaders do not have the best interest of this revolution at heart. I don't want to call names. But most leaders, they don't have this revolution at heart. no matter who you think they are. When you get to know the real truth, you will be fucking pissed. They don't have this revolution at heart. They don't. Don't listen to what I'm saying. Take a look at their actions. Don't listen to what I'm saying. Take a look at their actions. Here we are. Instead of leaders coming together and think about ground zero and how to make ground zero become hot before the Buea presidential elections. We're here talking about this and talking about that. Instead of thinking about how to take care of the 120,000 people that are living in Nigeria. We're here talking about this and talking about that. This activist is quarreling with that. This activist is saying this is wrong, that is that. You are wrong, I'm right. Instead of looking at how do we take care of those that are displaced, those whose homes have been burned. We don't even think about that. Is this what our leaders are talking about? Is this what our leaders are talking about as their priorities? Have you heard that from any leader? That this is their priorities? So why are we in the revolution? Are we serious that we want to go to Buea? Or maybe we are going somewhere else? I don't know about you. But the current actions that are being carried out, they're not leading us to anywhere. Don't listen to what I'm saying. Pay attention to the actions of your leaders. Don't listen to me. Pay attention to the actions of your leaders. Are the actions of your leaders inconsistent with the reality of what we are facing? Are the actions of your leaders consistent with the problems we are facing on the ground? Are the actions of our leaders consistent with the realities, the enormous problems we are facing on the ground? Are the actions of our leaders, have you seen? Because they will tell you, oh, you know, we don't announce our policies on social media. No, they don't have to announce their policy on social media, but you will see the effects of their policies. If anyone is doing any diplomatic move, you would have been seeing the effects in terms of what they are doing to La République. If anyone was doing any diplomatic moves, you would have seen the effect in African Union. If anyone was doing any diplomatic move, you would have seen the effect in the European Union. So, nothing. So instead of for us to do what's right for the revolution, we are dabbling. We dabbles. Don't listen to me. Pay attention to the actions of your leaders. Are the refugees in Nigeria their priorities? Are the people in the bushes their priorities? Is getting a diplomatic gain their priorities? Then if not, why are we in the revolution? If not, why are we in the revolution then? When ground zero is not being funded, when the 13 counties, they are not boiling, and we have La République election coming up in exactly 2 months, and then we're going to wait until 2 days before the elections, and then we say, it's ghost town? Wow. Wow. Where is our intelligence? Where is our capacity to think? Words and action must match. Words and action must match. When your words and your actions don't match, I'm sorry. We've been talking for far too long. Leaders come in the public and they tell you they want collaboration, they want unity, but their actions are not consistent with the word collaboration and the word unity. Mbazonians talk too much. Too much talk, very practical. There is no practical actions. Just talk in order to get social popularity. At the background, they don't want to do it for you guys. At the background, leaders are just too interested in their current positions, as if the revolution move forward, they will lose their current positions. Why are we in the revolution? When the Siseko, the partisans, right? The Mancho BBC are suffering in jail. And we are here just playing around, trying to be famous, right? Try to be liked, try to be accepted socially. As if we are accepted on Facebook, that would change anything on ground zero. As if we get 10,000 people like us, that will give us any diplomatic victory, right? What has the world told us? They are laughing at us. Buea is laughing at us. That's why even Patrick Ekema is laughing at us. Even Patrick Ekema is laughing at us. What did we tell Ekema? We told Ekema, first of all, we said there will be no Senate elections. What happens to the Senate elections? It took place. We called for ghost town. Okay, good. We promised 3 months ago, we promised that by the end of August, our government promised us that by the end of August, we will get to Buea, right? We are 3 weeks to the end of August. Where are we? Are we there? Are we there 10%? Are we there 20%? Are we there 30%? We promised tsunami. What is the tsunami? There's no tsunami. We promised Ekema will not march. Ekema bluffed and laughed. What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, thank you. We even promised a hurricane. What are we doing? Our people, according to one of La Republique, a Southern Cameroonian who spoke in La Republique Parliament yesterday or 2 days ago, he said official statistics now are that 2,000 Southern Cameroonians have been killed. 2,000 Southern Cameroonians have been killed. And we sit here and we sit in the comfort of Western civilizations and we use our people to play political games. I feel sorry for the Ambazonian people. You must take your revolution back. You must think critically. If this is what we want to do, I just want to educate all of you. In the coming hours and in the coming days, when leaders have failed in their policies, they will look for someone to blame. In the coming hours and in the coming days, they will come after me. They will come after me that I'm the cause of their failure. They will come after me because I have been calling them for unity and for collaboration. And since they don't want to collaborate, they will come after Lucas ASU. It's coming. I just want to give you guys an update. That because they do not want unity and they do not want collaboration, because collaboration is going to take us to Buea, because collaboration is going to help us to gain international trust, because collaboration is going to help us to work together. They don't want to do it. They will find a cheap target and they will send other activists that are even personal friends to come after me because I've been promoting what? Collaboration, 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 collaboration. So if a leader does not want to collaborate, let the leader come out and tell the people, I don't want to collaborate, and tell the people the plan to take us to Buea. But I'm just giving you guys an update because it's coming. Just know it's coming. They will send activists, they will send personal friends of mine to come and say, it's Lucas ASU that is the problem. Your leader should be honest with you. I've done my best to serve you guys, the Ambazonian people. Even Dr. Sako has agreed in his last video that collaboration is the way to go. It took them 2.5 months to come to that point where they could even agree that collaboration is the way to go. So let nobody use me as their cheap excuse for their failed policies. Let nobody use me, Lucas ASU, as the reason why they don't want to do what they don't want to do, but they're afraid to tell the people that they don't want to do it. Let nobody use me as the reason why they don't want to collaborate. And then they come up with other things to justify why they don't want to collaborate. All it is they are trying to avoid collaboration. Every single action is meant to avoid coming together and collaborate. And that's why they're coming up with all these mamsy-pamsy schemes and excuses, because they do not want to collaborate. They don't want to work together. So the leaders should own up to their own fucking truth and not use anybody else as a cheap excuse, because they don't want to collaborate. So they will come up with other things and justify why they don't want to come together. The only people that are going to suffer are the Ambazonian people. I'm sorry to tell you guys this. Dr. Sako is doing fine. Chris Anu is doing fine. Bo Herbert is doing fine. Everybody else is doing fine. My friend Eric Tato is in the United States, is doing fine. I'm all right. We are all safe. Mark Barretta is doing fine. Everybody is doing fine. The people that are suffering are those on the bushes. So when leaders don't want to collaborate, they will come up with excuses and then they'll find someone to blame. Oh, it's Lucas ASU. Really? I don't work for you guys. I don't belong to any organization. I've never belonged to any organization. When you guys did your programs, you came up with your vision, you told the people, it's not me. I'm not the one who promised to take people to that in 3 months, I'm going to take you guys to Buea. So if that didn't happen, don't blame me. My platform has advocated for unity and collaboration, and I've successfully sold that idea. I've sold it because it was a vision, it's leadership, it's strategy. Because I have no interest. And by the way, please stop whether you are with a group or with the interim government, stop sending your people to try to sell me into cheap positions. I don't give a rat ass about positions. I'm not interested in politics. I love my activism and I love the work that I do. So keep your positions to yourself, because most of the time when they see someone with such a bright mind to do something extraordinary for society, in order to take him out of that force, of that purpose, they offer you a position in order to seal your lips. You can't buy my integrity. You cannot buy my integrity with positions. You can't. I'm sorry to tell you guys this. I'm sorry. I'm doing this because my own family and most of our families are suffering in Nigeria. Our villages have no human being there. So I'm not here for the revolution for Dr. Sako, if he doesn't know that. I'm not here for this revolution for Dr. Akwanga or Dr. Ayaba. If you guys don't get it, get it. I didn't come to this revolution to please you. I don't please people. Not even my prime minister. All right? So you can't buy my conscience. I don't care about your positions. Do not use me as a cheap excuse for your failed policies. Do not use me because there is no vision, there is no purpose, and there is no intention to take our people to Buea. But we keep deceiving our people. Because if we really wanted to take our people to Buea, the first step in this revolution in any leader is to bring the people together transparently. Why are we so afraid to come together? What is wrong with coming together? Why are we so afraid to come together? Oh, we get together, they're going to arrest us. But the same leaders are traveling every week to go do fundraising. When you go into these conferences and doing your fundraising, nobody's going to arrest you. They will only arrest you when you come to a collaborative conference, right? Something to think about. So do not use me as your cheap excuse for your unwillingness to bring your people together, come together, work together diplomatically, work together in self-defense, work together in raising money and taking care of our people in Nigeria. If leaders don't want to do these things, come honestly and be honest with your people that you lack the capacity to do it, that you lack the will to do it, that you don't have what it takes to execute the revolution. How come leaders not just be honest with the people for the first time so that this revolution can move forward? When they arrest Sisiku, what happened to the revolution? The revolution moved forward, isn't it? So when leaders do not want to work together, they should stop looking for someone to blame for their failed policies and the things that they have no interest in. Because there are severe plans now and conspiracy theory to post my name on everywhere. Look, you guys have no idea who I am. You cannot destroy my integrity. You can't. So just because I come here and I give my time to advocate for the people of Southern Cameroons, you have no idea the integrity I've been able to build through my career. I'm sorry to tell you guys this. I'm not into politics. So if you want to do politics, go do politics with yourself. In the coming weeks, the coming hours and in the coming days, they will send a tsunami of activists and close friends to come out and say all kinds of bullshit and nonsense just because the leaders themselves, they lack the moral courage to come out and look at the people face to face and tell them the fucking truth. So I feel sorry for you guys. I feel sorry for the revolution. You, the people of Ambazonia, you must wake up. This is your revolution. This is your revolution. It's not anyone else's revolution. But from being someone that is exposed to a lot of what is happening on a day-to-day basis, I can tell you, most of your leaders are not interested in taking you to Buea. This is not information you like to hear. They are not interested in taking you to Buea. They'll tell you publicly they're interested in taking you to Buea, but look at their actions. Are their actions oriented to taking you to Buea? If not, then they are not. The leaders are only interested to be comfortable in the little positions and power they control right now. Okay? Great people, but intentions are not. Speak to them. When you get behind the scenes and you get to these inner circles, then you begin to understand the psychology and you begin to understand that something is fucking fucked up. And until the little 10%, and until the little 10%, the 10% of the people, if the 10% of the people don't wake up, it will be too late for this revolution. I'm not being a pessimist. But people will come online and then they will shout and tell you all kinds of stuff. That's fine. That's good. Don't listen to me. Pay attention to what they are doing. Pay attention to their actions. Don't listen to what I'm saying. Just pay attention to their actions. And look at the actions. Does the actions match the enormity of the problems we are facing? If not, then make up your own mind. What I'm here to do, educate you. That's all. Okay? That's enough for that. The last thing I want to talk about is we spend so much of our time to organize protest, isn't it? I'm not against protest. But if you look at the impact of protest in this revolution, what did we do on September 22nd? What did we do on October 1st? Look at how many of us came out. Look at all the protests that has taken place in France, in South Africa, in England, in Spain, in Holland, in Germany, in the US, in China, all over the globe, in Switzerland. Look at all the protests. What came out of it? When they arrested Sekou, and we protested and our people even camped in front of Nigerian embassies, what came out of it? Nothing. What came out of it? And yet, we are going back to try to do the same thing again. We are going back to rely on public protest as a strategy for getting us to Buea. Really? We are going back, so all we do is to protest. If we have time to protest, but we don't have time to come together for collaboration, isn't that very interesting? The things that's supposed to give us the results we want, we don't want to do them. The things that have zero impact in our revolution, they've had zero impact. Those are the things we want to go do, right? Let me ask that question again. We have so much time to plan protests and get people together to go protest in front of the White House, in front of the Canadian Parliament, in front of the UN. With all the time we've wasted protesting, now we are even still planning to go protest in front of the White House and at the Canadian Parliament. So we have all this time to go protest, but we don't have time for our leaders to come together and collaborate for the things that are most important. So why do we do the things that don't give us results and we don't want to do the things that will give us results? So let me make two distinctions. In all the public protests we have carried out, nothing has worked. Ground zero, self-defense on ground zero has made the world to be talking. Yet we don't want to put our efforts on self-defense on ground zero. But we want to go do more public protests. So who are we deceiving? Why do we want to organize public protest? We want to organize public protest because we want to do live Facebook streams, right? We want to do live Facebook streams. We want to stream it on the new TV station we've created, right? We want to stream it on SCBC. We want to stream it on ABC TV. We want to stream it on Facebook Live. The things that will give us the result we want, we don't want to do them. The things that are not giving us results are the things we want to do. Who are we deceiving? Let's organize, let 1 million people go march in Washington, D.C. We can organize 1 million people to go march in Washington, D.C. But we can't even come together to say, hey, how do we make sure ground zero is properly funded and all 13 counties have enough sticks and enough groundnut? We have enough time to go protest, but we don't have enough time to say, hey, how do we make sure we take care of those 120,000 people that are suffering in Nigeria? But we have time to go protest, and we even have money to get buses, to rent buses, and go do all those things just for social fame, just for social popularities. We have time to go protest, but we don't even have time to organize ourselves in a diplomatic team that will go after the UN, after the US, after Canada, after European Union, after the African Union, right? Who are we deceiving? Anyways, so there is a better way to do it. You can get 1 million people to go march, but at the same time, you can take just 100 people to write and petition a US senator. Pay attention to this. You can get 1,000 people to go march, but if you get only 10 people to write a petition, 10 people that live in a state to write a petition to a senator from that state, you get better results than getting 1,000 people on the streets. So what do we want to do? Get 1,000 people on the street to march for hours and hours and hours, or just get 10 people to petition a senator from that area? You get better results, better response. We can do things the wrong way and we can do things the right way. But for most of the things we are trying to do, the things are not the things, and we know this because from past experiences. Oh, they said, no, it's Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the new president. So let's go march in front of the White House. And let's tell Mr. Trump is the only man who can save Ambazonia. Good. There's no problem about that. As long as you have a diplomatic team that has been doing the background work, and this is only to reinforce it. But since we don't have that, guys, come on. So it's better you take 10 people to petition a senator than to take 1,000 people and put them on the street for 4 hours. There are things we can do that can give us results, and there are things we can do that are just a waste of time from past experiences. That's all I'm trying to say. Does that mean that protests are not necessary? Yeah, protests are necessary just to get your voice out there. But that is just a social strategy. That is just a social strategy. We have to get beyond just social approvals. We have to get into the things that gives us results. And in my opinion, as I've done over the last 3 months or so, told you guys, a simple collaboration with all of the leaders, transparent and genuine collaboration will take us far than anything else we are trying to do socially. So take charge of the revolution. You have so much more power than you think. Take charge of the revolution. Take a good look at the revolution and ask yourself, are the actions and the programs that we are creating, are they meant to take us, to lead us to where we're supposed to go? Or they are just things that we say and we do in order to get social popularity? Are the actions, are what the leaders are saying and their actions, is it matching? Because leaders can say one thing, but is it really matching? We said 3 months. 3 months is coming to an end. What have we done so far? Think intellectually. You have to ask these questions. Let not leaders deceive you that they have a strategy. If you want to know a leader's strategy, look at the actions they are taking. That will let you know whether a leader has a strategy or not. So I will continue to do what I do best. To educate, to inform, to inspire, and to encourage. And also to share strategies. But I will not settle for bullshit. And I will encourage you not to tolerate bullshit. Because the tolerance of bullshit is what creates shithole countries. When you start to tolerate bullshit from your leaders, it doesn't matter who they are, you are contributing in creating shithole countries because you tolerate shithole governments. The tolerance of bullshit is what leads to nations to become shithole. Do not tolerate deception. Look at what a leader is saying and match it with the reality of what's happening. If what a leader is saying does not match the reality of what is going on, it's fucking deception, and you need to fucking wake up. Take a look at the reality of what is happening on ground zero. Take a look at the reality of what Buea is doing internationally. This guy has a diplomatic team all over the world. And no wonder the world is silent. What are we doing? Nothing. All we do is to tear each other down. All we do is to find the next victim and blame them for our failed policies and our failed strategies. I'm begging you, mbazonians. The day you tolerate nonsense, you put your lives on the line. The tolerance of bullshit, it's what creates all these bullshit and shithole nations. We don't have to let our people suffer. We don't have to let this revolution die. It's in your hand. Whatever you want to do with it, it's totally up to you. This is your revolution. All right? So let me just say this. Whether our leaders come together, they don't come together for Lucas ASU. Whether Dr. Sacco collaborates with his brothers and sisters to move the revolution forward, he's not doing it for Lucas ASU. Whether Dr. Akwanga collaborates with Dr. Sacco to move the revolution, they are not doing it for Lucas ASU. A collaborative conference, it's not for Lucas ASU. It's an idea I believed in and I promoted it with all my passion. It is up to you, the Ambazonian people, to choose how you want your revolution to be executed. If you want to stay in the next 5 years and we let our people to be continue to be killed, it's totally up to you, the Ambazonian people. Do not tolerate bullshit. Don't let leaders give you cheap excuses for why something cannot be done when you know that's the right thing to do. So unless you stand up for the right thing to do, you contribute in tolerating the revolution to be where it's at. If this revolution is not moving forward, you are part of the problem. If this revolution is not going anywhere, you're part of the problem. If your leaders are not doing the right things to move the revolution forward and feed our people in Nigeria and raise enough money to take care of ground zero in all 13 counties, don't only blame the leaders, we the people also have to take accountabilities. Be accountable, because you allow your leaders to deceive you, because you're not measuring their actions, their words and their actions. You must measure a leader's words with their actions. When a leader said the one unity and the one collaboration, what actions have they ever taken to make that happen? And now they've called for a unity and collaboration conference in the past, 2.5 months, and out of a sudden, bang! That conference, no. Why don't you just come out and tell the people that, hey, look, there is something else, we've come up, and talk to the people directly. So don't let your leaders give you cheap excuses to kill this revolution. Don't let your leaders give you cheap excuses so that Buea continues to win. Don't let your leaders give you cheap excuses just because they are afraid of the unknown. Don't let your leaders give you cheap excuses because they want social popularity. I don't care about social popularities. Go on my profiles. Who cares about this? I can shut this platform down. I have many platforms to make contribution. We don't care about social popularity. So that's why even if there are 2 people, I'd rather talk to 2 people than to talk to 10,000 people that are only interested in gossips and putting other people down. That are only interested in one human being who take another human being and find a way to try to destroy them. We are here to build people up, not to destroy people. Activism is not about destroying someone. Activism is about building people, inspiring people, bringing people together, helping people work together. Any divisive tendencies, don't tolerate it. So do not tolerate bullshit from your leaders. Don't let your leaders lie to you. Measure your leaders' words with their actions. If it doesn't match, there is something wrong. In the next 3 months, in the next 3 weeks, the month of April, of August is going to come to an end. My trip to Buea, the 3 months to my trip to Buea is going to come to an end. You have to start to do an analysis now of, okay, you said this, how come? How is ground zero compared to where we were 4 months ago? How is ground zero now compared to where we were 4 months ago? How is ground zero? How many counties have been captured? How many? How many LECAM offices have been taken down? How many police stations have been taken down? How many military camps have been taken down? Really? Please. So I encourage you to be inspired, but to live on the side of truth, to live on the side of reasoning, to live on the side of results and purpose. Take what a leader tells you, measure it by their practical actions, not their words. Words means nothing. Measure a leader's words with that leader's action. Your leaders have been talking to you for about 6 months now. Measure it with their actions. How are we doing on ground zero? How are we doing collectively? How are we doing in feeding the refugees in Nigeria? How are we doing in providing those in the bushes? How are we doing? What diplomatic victory have we secured? None. We're in August. Like the public election is coming up in 2 months. You either stand up now as a people, where the interim government with all the other leaders, they start to work together now to make sure the AAC3 doesn't take place, to make sure Buea election doesn't take place. If not, a ghost town will not work on October 7th. So I encourage you to start to analyze your leaders through their actions and not what they say to you. Don't settle for bullshit, my people. Never settle for bullshit. Never. The only way forward, it's a genuine collaboration. The only way forward, it's transparent collaboration where all leaders come together as equal partners. But if the leaders do not want to come together, then you, the Ambazonian people, it's your revolution. You know what to do. I've said what I've come to say. I've done what I've come to do. You, the Ambazonian people, know what to do. If your leaders don't want to come together, the leaders will lie to you that I'm not coming together because of this. They are not coming together because of this. Don't buy into that. All you ask for is come together. All right? Okay? So, I hope this has been meaningful. I hope this has been helpful to you. I hope this has inspired you. This is what we are here for. We are here for the revolution. I'm not here to kiss any leader's ass. If that's what you want, I'm sorry. Okay? I'm here because I'm driven by my love for my people. I'm here because I feel the pain of our people living in Nigeria, where all the 12 villages around where I was born, there is no single human being there. That's what drives me. Their pain is what drives me. That family from daddy, that all 8 of them have died in Nigeria. That pain is what I feel inside my heart. Where most of Manu is now living in bushes or they live in Nigeria. That's what I feel in my heart. When villages Kwakwa and all the rest have been burned down, according to the parliament from La Republique, 173 villages have been burned down. That's what I feel in my heart. That's what I care about. The children that are suffering in the bushes, have foot soldiers that sometimes they go to fight and they don't have groundnuts or sticks. That's what I feel in my heart. And that's the only reason I'm here. I hope you care so much about our people, that you're caring for their suffering, that you're caring for our collective freedom, will give you enough courage to live up to the truth enough that you don't let any leader try to deceive you or give you cheap excuses as to why they can't come together. This is your revolution. Stay on the side of truth. You'll be fine. And nothing can move you. That's my message for you today. Stay strong, Mbazonian. There is always a way. There is always a way. All right? Have a great afternoon. That's it for me from now.